What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG's back with another live stream to hear. Listen, this is impromptu. I wasn't planning on going live today, but I think after the weekend that we've had, I needed to get a temperature test, and that's what this is. It's a temperature test of how you guys are feeling about the weekend and what's transpired over this weekend of Premier League football. And it's been a disaster, hasn't it? It's been a disaster all around, but we're going to get into that. As you come in, there's a decent amount of people in here already. Thank you for tuning in. Like the stream, please. If you're watching the replay, please like the video as well. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And as I've said on the previous video, there is memberships now on the channel. Well, membership, and that's just to support me, support the running costs of the channel. And it's just a thing just to show you support. So there's no pressure. There's no difference in the relationship. The streams will still remain the same. I'll still talk to everyone the same. It just means that you're a member. And shout out to the members so far. Really good to see. I think I can only see three visible at the minute, but I know there's a couple more. Mr. P, Ray, and Kevin. So shout out to you guys. So who knows? I want a membership. The link's in the description, or it's on my actual YouTube page. For some reason, you can't get there via the iPhone. You need to go on it via Androids or the regular web page. But the link is in the description. And yeah, listen, evening everybody. This is it's gonna be a cathartic one. We're gonna try and get through this one together. We had a little therapy session yesterday, but yeah, I feel a bit. I will say this: I feel kind of the same way I did after the Tottenham game. After we lost that Tottenham game, and I just thought, oh man, I don't know where this is going. Not as defeated as then. It's not that bad. I really did feel like we was going nowhere but down then. But we're in a similar position now where it's back out of our hands again. It's really out of our hands. It's now in Everton's hands. But we've got to do what we have to do. And that's the question as well I want to ask. Can we do what we're supposed to do? That's a big question, because judging over the season, 34 points in 34 games says no. But listen, let's see what we can do. Jesse sounds like he isn't giving up. The players sound like they haven't given up, but actions speak louder than words for me. Nathan saying, I don't know why, but I'm optimistic. I think law of averages for Burnley will catch up to them. I think that 2 wins is definitely doable for us. Everton's next 2 games are away. Yeah, I hear that. Jack Wilson, no, says we're right in it now, KG. Jesse and the lads need to show focus, composure, and determination to keep us up. We can still do it. And yes, it's not over. I know there's a lot of people saying that it's over now, but for me, I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple yet. I just don't see how we can just declare that we are down when all the games haven't been played yet. You know, you don't win anything on paper. You know, we just saw that today, and you know, I want to speak about that Everton Chelsea game in a bit as well. Blink evening to Bob's Blinky Fish. I just worry where the goals are coming from. Same here. Same here. Pellegrino saying feeling more than a little down right now. Got it. Got it. Blinky Fish, no favors done this weekend. No, none at all. Josh Joe, shout out to you, Joe, man. Yes, lad. Yes to you, man. Jack Wilson, rough weekend, KJ. I hope has took a Tyson Fury uppercut. Yeah, it's mad. Ed, the Man United fan in the building. Hi, KG. At least you'll win the league next season. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. I mean, what can I do? Kalen, KG, you got to do something. What can I do? It's up to the players. It's the players, Kalen. It's the players. I can't do anything. And just shout out to everyone in there as well. And yeah, James Simpson without Dallas now as well. Yeah, we got no Dallas. He's done. I said it yesterday. It looked like he was done for the season. It could be, we're talking a real long-term injury here. And what is he now, 32? To say that he was already on the decline is being generous. But what was interesting was that he was going to probably start yesterday's game in midfield. And that's where I wanted to see him. I wanted to see him next to Calvin. We didn't get to see that, and now we're not going to see that at all. So that option, which probably would have been the best going forward of Phillips and Dallas in midfield, we're not even going to get to see it now, people, which is a real shame, in my opinion, because I think it would have given us something midfield that we didn't have before. So, I mean, I don't know what condition he's going to be when he gets back, because this is going to be a tough injury to come back from. Not only just at his age, but is he mentally going to be there as well? Time will tell, but it's not a good one. Beefy in the house, KG, 4 cup finals and a bit of luck. We need more than luck. We need more than luck. Trav saying, KG, refreshing that the James Striker project was adjusted for this game. Gelhardt showed again that he's a danger. I hope he gets to know that Arsenal if Bamford isn't fit. Yeah, he has to start. We cannot keep doing this to ourselves, not playing a striker. I mean, when we go over the season review, I mean, there's going to be so many scathing things to be said about this season. It's been an absolute disaster. And it wasn't, sometimes it's just the littlest of questions. And the question came right at the end of yesterday's stream where somebody asked, and I forgot your name, I'm sorry about that. But he asked, did I expect the season to go this way? And I think that's why it's been such a bummer this season that the season has gone the way it has. You never envisioned it being this bad, where we end up at 34 games, relatively safe out the bottom three. Now all of a sudden, we could do the Leeds United thing and drop in right at the last minute. It would be such a Leeds United thing to do. But as I said, people, there's a lot of football to go. The fixtures remaining. You know, I know some people are saying Burnley out of it. I don't agree with that at all. They've got Villa twice, home and away, Tottenham and Newcastle. Those are not easy fixtures. First of all, people thinking that Newcastle are going to be on the beach, forget about it. There's a lot of players at Newcastle fighting for their futures there because it's going to be a big summer for Newcastle. So that's going to be tough. Tottenham are fighting for top 4. That is not going to be easy. And we saw what they did against Leicester today, albeit a very, very second string Leicester City team. And Villa, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from them, do you? So for me, Burnley is still in it with us. It's just that their goal difference is way better. But yes, it's between us three and Everton remaining now. Leicester away, tough fixture if they put out a decent squad. Watford probably going to win that one in all fairness because Jesus, Watford are absolutely disgusting. They're a disgrace, man. How do you have a home record like that in the Prem? I know we're bad, but Jesus, Watford. Brentford at home, that's not going to be easy. Palace and Arsenal. So again, that's why I say that this thing isn't over. And I can guarantee if Everton had our run of fixtures and we had Everton's, you know, people will probably be saying that Everton are in more trouble than we are. But it's because of how our team performs as well, which does not help. It's just not good right now. It's not even about performance. It's just about getting the points. But I mean, Charlie Bucks, Charlie Bucks. The board silence is deafening. Well, it's not really silent. Rads was on the boat with Lucas yesterday, so he's not silent. I don't know what the rest of them are doing. I have no idea. But there's nothing they can do now. They've played all their chips this season. They've held, they've stuck, and they've folded all in the same season. I don't know what they're going to do next. Clive saying, keep the faith, will stay up. Vavi saying, feel like the fans have been saying Gelhardt needs to start for months now. Can't see it happening. Yeah, I've been banging the drum all season long for it, and other things as well that shouldn't be happening. No James up front. Give Lewis Bate a go in games what he should be given a go in. But you know, we're just fans at the end of the day. We could only say our opinions. That's it. Beefy saying I sound defeated. I'm definitely disappointed in the weekend. It's been a bad weekend, Beefy. You know, when we add it all up, yes, we were going to always lose to Man City because our players just don't have it in them to do anything against a team of that caliber. And that's another thing I want to say as well. I mean, let me just get this stat up, which is, you know me, guys, I'm not a big stat guy, but I need to get this one up. Leeds Premier, and this is courtesy of LUFC data. Leeds Premier League record versus the current top 6. Games 10, 1-0, drawn 0, lost 10, scored 7, 42 against. Minus 35 goal difference. Games failed to score 5. What can you do with that? Honestly, what can you do with that? When everyone else is scraping points here and there, Palace went to Man City, won, and then I think they got a 0-0 draw. Everton today, I mean, gosh, today, I was a Chelsea fan today. I don't know how many of you were, but the group chats, all the group chats were all the group chats were on Chelsea because we got a lot of Liverpool fans in there and everyone else, and we were just all willing Chelsea to go on. But again, Everton did something today. They grinded out a 1-0 win. That's the difference right now. Can we do that? Is our team capable of doing that? We're going to find out over the next 4 games. But that's what I saw today. Just how different ways of teams getting results. And then Burnley winning yesterday, the way that they did 2 goals in the last, what was it, 7 minutes to get the win. And it's just things like that. Even the chances today, what Chelsea missed, they hit the post. There was a Pickford save where he was behind the line and still managed to save it. And then you just start thinking, wow, is this where the thing starts to turn for us? Is this it? Russell saying, fair play to yourself and a very few other YouTubers that have been preempting a lot of the problems with Leeds this year and actually saying it publicly. Well, I mean, I can't speak for anyone else. I'll always just speak for myself. But yeah, Russell, go back in the videos. Go back. I did a temperature test. What was it? Maybe October. Just saying, what is going on here? Are we in trouble? That was October. The recruitment wasn't good enough. And again, this is something for the end of the season. But thanks for acknowledging that because, yeah, when you preempt things as well, Russell, some people think that you're looking too far ahead or that you're seeing the worst in them. But you can, if you just see Premier League ability and just see that a lot of these players don't have it, it's easy to see why we are where we are. Jason Peters saying 5 point safety. The gap is 2 points now, Jason, because Everton won against Chelsea. I don't know what that means. Charlie Brown saying Dallas was 32. He's 2 years younger. Oh, is he? He's only 30. Okay, well, bad injury at 30. But bear in mind as well, Charlie, he's also an old 30. And what I mean by that is the training that he's had over the last 3 years will have aged him a bit. He's not like a regular 30-year-old. Bit like Jordan Henderson at Liverpool, where he's 31, but at the moment he looks like he's about 35 because of the high intensity way that Klopp plays. So, I mean, and this injury is a bad one. So, oh, man. Tammy's saying, realistically, we've been much better since Marsh came in. The damage was done long before then. It was. But the points run we went on was great. It was really good under Marsh. It was good. He picked the team up. We've kind of defensively got better. But who was to envision that Burnley would just keep with us, but not just pick up points, pick up wins along the way? And this is another thing about today. Everton today got Chelsea, and Chelsea were poor today, really, really poor. You would never believe that Chelsea were third in the table the way that they played today. But are we going to get that same Chelsea when it comes around? And yes, there's going to be changes from the cup. But it's like what I mentioned about the Southampton game, where I really believe that we messed that up and not getting 3 points. Southampton have been on the beach before then, and they've been on the beach after them. Burnley, Palace, they've all got points against them. But when you marry up the fact that we're Leeds United and people always want to beat Leeds, and then you add up to the fact that we don't have the quality to go with it and try and match these teams, it's a horrible marriage. So it is difficult to see right now where we're going to get the points from. But for me, it's not over yet. I will declare I don't think it's over, but it just sucks to be in this position. Like the feeling is kind of sinking. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it just sucks to be in this position. I'm just annoyed. I'm just so annoyed at everything that's happened this season. I'm just annoyed. That's my general feeling. I'm going to get into your comments today. Athena saying, I kept watching the Everton Chelsea game so anxiously today. I was watching it literally like it was Leeds United playing. Athena, I was the same. When that goal went in, I went, oh no. When Chelsea were nearly scoring, I was like, yes, yes, cheering like Chelsea were my team. That's it. We need favors from other people. That's how I was watching the game today, like a Chelsea fan. I was, but all it was just to keep Everton away, and they've come away with a real scrappy 1-0 win. But that's what it takes. That's what it takes. It's not about pretty football. It's not about this and that. It's about just getting a goal and just defending your lines. Are we capable of doing that, people? We're gonna have to wait and see. Beefy, this weekend's results has deflated us all. Yeah, I can see that. I can imagine why. And that's why I just want to get you guys' views on it this week after the weekend that we've had. I know we spoke yesterday, but today has changed everything, hasn't it? Um, Max H, since when do you have a relegation battle where all teams win? Makes no sense unless you Leeds. Yeah, that's what I mean. If other teams are capable of getting results, then why can't we be one of those? But that record against the top six is it's embarrassing. It is actually embarrassing, and we got two of them next. Arsenal, who have just had a really good win against West Ham away. You know, West Ham weren't really that much change from their full strength team. Yeah, they had Mark Noble playing instead of Soucek, etc. Antonio on the bench, but it was still a decent West Ham team. It's going to be tough against Arsenal, but we'll talk about the Arsenal game in the week. I'm going to have a preview of that one on the channel in the week. I'm going to have an Arsenal fan on with me. Um, it's tough. It's so tough to see where the points are coming from. And again, Eddie and Nketiah today, I just want to say this. Eddie and Nketiah today, few really good chances today, called them all around the post. But we'll see what happens next Sunday when he plays Leeds. And then you'll all be begging for him to be signed. Trav saying, KG, I don't question the fight. I question the confidence in the final third. Clearly, there's a deer in the headlights issue, and Rafa is trying to do all by himself. Yeah, and I looked at it again because there was a few people that weren't convinced about Rafinha yesterday. I thought he was excellent overall. And yes, there was a moment where he could have passed the ball over to Rodrigo, but instead of having a shot. But apart from that, I thought Rafinha was our main threat. But this is another thing as well, what I want to bring up. Rafinha, our star man, our big name player who will go on to Champions League football, we need more from him as well. And what I mean by that is something like what happened with Richarlison today, getting those important goals. We now need, instead of just good performances or looking lively, we need something from him. It sounds harsh to put it all on his shoulders, and I'm not doing that, but we need to see Rafinha on the score sheet again. It's been a while. We need to see some more of them contributing as well. Yet again, Jack Harrison had a real quiet one yesterday. But when you're talking about game changers, and that is what Rafinha is, we need him to have a great game. We need him to go come big for us in the last 4 games. Rodrigo's gone back to regular Rodrigo again, sent him back to death row for a minute. You know, I'm not taking calls from his lawyer right now. He's back in death row, people. I need Rodrigo to pick it up again. Let's see what we can do with Gelhardt up front with those three playing up front. Let's see what we can do. Um, Otis is saying he expected this, knew these players would buckle under fans' pressure. But the thing is, Otis, I would argue and say that they're not really under any pressure. We've seen it again yesterday. We lost 4-0. And yet again, the rhetoric after the game is just how good the fans are. Oh, the fans were brilliant. Oh, they just stick with us, even though we're 4-0 down, they stick with us. And I think that's where the difference comes in because Everton fans, they're not accepting that. They haven't been accepting that. They've been showing their frustration after losses. Whereas up until the Spurs game, we were just applauding them all the time. And it's just funny to me to some of the things that in general Leeds fans call Tim Pot. But there's a few things that have been Tim Pot this season, but it's okay when it's Leeds United. But I just don't think that you should be applauding them after losses like that. Not saying boo them, but just let them know that it's not acceptable because yes, we're with the team, we all with the team all the time. But just listen to the comments after the game. We're 34 games in, slipping into a relegation battle, and we've got everyone talking about how great the fans are. Well, big whoop. Like, who cares? Get the points on the board, and the fans will be even greater. That's it for me. But I just don't think there's any pressure on these players. I really don't. Um, Come into some more of your comments and the chat's lively. Good to see a lot of you in here. Please smash a like on the video. You know the drill, people. Ed, behave yourself, man. When you go championship, get Slaven Village. You see this? I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. I don't know about you guys, but I have been picturing the championship again, and it's depressing. I'm not gonna lie, it's not fun thinking about that again. I've got a list of players that I think that we should go for in the summer. If we do happen to get relegated, scrub them all off the list I've made because we ain't getting like one of them. It's not even funny. We wouldn't even. We see Leeds on the phone. Leeds, oh, they just put the phone down. I don't even want to think about it. Just thinking about going away Tuesday night to Luton Town if they don't come up. I mean, just we worked so hard for 16 years. Like we was doing nothing for 16 years, worked so hard to get back up. And because of just mismanagement, negligence, tactical ineptness all season long, we're in a position now where that could be a possibility. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But you get what you deserve after 38 games, and I mean that. If we end up relegated, it's on us. It's on Leeds United, and they have to look themselves in the mirror. And all the deals that they want done in the summer, well, we'll see if they can get them done with the Championship status squad. It's just a crap reality we're in right now, people. It's just awful. It's just awful being where we are. Tom Edgar, do you think we'll bounce up again after we get relegated? No, we're not gonna bounce back straight away. And it's not being pessimistic. It's just we're not built like that. The club's too big. Once we go back in the championship, we'll be everyone's cup final again. Our team will be disbanded. The pressure will be on the players because that's when the crowd will get on the players again. When we're in the championship and when there's a misplaced pass, loads of that they're not getting right now in the Prem. It's just not going to happen. It's just going to be a bad mix if we go back down. Jason Peters' Everton goal was a gift, exactly. And Jason, it's a great point. It was a gift. Aspilicueta, what was he doing? A seasoned veteran like that doing that. But yeah, this is the difference, isn't it? Everton took their gift, didn't they? They took it and they wrapped it up and they've gone home. We had a gift from Cancelo yesterday. We didn't accept it. We said, "No, keep your gift, keep it." Differences, isn't it? That's where we are right now. These are the margins that we are measured up against right now in this relegation battle. And it's all well and good as well. I mean, there's people that say, "I thought you said we were safe." You go by what you see, and what I saw at the time was that we were doing well. We was picking up points. Everton were not doing well at all. And listen, I watch a lot of Premier League games, including Everton's, and I just thought we will have to be really, really bad in order to get sucked into this relegation battle. But it just turns out that Burnley have turned it on after Sean Dyche has been sacked and have gone on it's been an unbelievable run, but they've been helped as well. Watford helped them out, Southampton being on the beach helping them out. But we need to make our own luck now. We've got to concentrate on ourselves. We have to. Um, let's have a look, see what else is. Sporting Central, if Bamford's training, we have to risk it in playing. Well, listen, Bamford, he says if we need the points, he'll come back. Well, Bamford, we need the points, so come back. Let's see you at Arsenal. What a lift it would be to see Bamford back at Arsenal. Give Arsenal something to think about. But if he's not back by Arsenal, it has to be go hard. But I hear what you're saying. If Bamford's playing, it changes the whole dimension of it. We haven't seen him nowhere near enough this season, and that's going to be something we'll talk about in the summer. But his presence up front will give us a new dimension in the team. We need him back. We don't have a big squad. We don't have a big squad of quality. We need him back in there. Who knows with the super chat? Thank you for your donation, man. I've got a feeling, KG, Burnley to lose every game. But this is it as well, because now Burnley have gone on a bit of run. Everyone just suddenly thinks Burnley are these like Real Madrid now, that they're just going to go on a run now. I don't believe that. I think there's still losses in there, just like there will be for all three of us. Like we're down there because we're not good. But at the end of the day, Burnley have gone on a run to get to 34 points. We were there. We're both on the same points. So they've got as good a chance as losing and winning games as much as we have. I know our opponents next to are Chelsea and Arsenal, but they've got tough ones too. Tottenham are not easy. They're not. Newcastle will be fighting for their places. Players will be fighting for their places. Let's see what happens. Matt Game saying, "Come on, KG, it's Man City." No, I'm not complaining about the loss yesterday, Matt. That was to be expected. It's just that everything else around it was. I mean, who could foresee Burnley just coming back in the last 10 minutes? And that was pretty obvious, but it's the one today, I think. I think today, Matt, is the one that's killed it and has just made this whole weekend, when you include the injuries to Dallas and Possibly Cooper's going to be out. He's going for a scan apparently, so we'll see how long he's going to be out. But yeah, it's that I'm not Matt. There was no expectation to beat Man City from me, not one bit. So yeah, I knew he was going to lose. The 4-0 scoreline in the end was very harsh. I think two, maybe three would have been sufficient. But listen, look what happened with that fourth one. We just all stood around like statues, waiting for seeing if the referee was going to give a penalty or not. Didn't play to the whistle, so yeah. Paul Gray, I agree, KG, that we all love Leeds stuff as much as it's great support, almost like an acceptance with going down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just imagine if any other club was doing that, if Norwich were doing that after each beating they were taking, or if they were losing 4-0, we'd be calling them tin pot. But yeah, with us, it's always great support. Well, yeah, it is what it is. Stephen Hunt, Chelsea were mucked today, have been for weeks. Yeah, they have been. Watch the odds, they turn up to Leeds like Real Madrid. Yeah, that's it. And I know that people think that Lampard was getting a favour from old Chelsea mates there, but I actually saw it a bit differently because there was a few players in there that he'd frozen out. So there was definitely motivation for some of those to put one over him and make life difficult for him. So I didn't see it as Chelsea doing him a favour. I just think Chelsea are very poor right now. But we'll see which Chelsea will get when they come to Ellen Road. It's going to be very, very interesting. Alex is saying, remember, we're still above the drop zone. It's in our hands, kind of, but we just need Everton to lose that game in hand in order for it to really be in our hands. Because right now, it's kind of in their hands. When you look at it now, there's a 2 point gap. It's kind of in their hands. So we just have to. But yes, we are. We're still 2 points ahead. So that is the positive. Yeah. OLM marched on together. It's mental. We went 5 games unbeaten and are still this close. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? It's unlike the last previous years of the relegation battle. It's never been like it hasn't been like this, for as long as I can remember, in all honesty. So that's what I'm saying. The work that Jesse's done in order to get points out of the games he's gotten, he's done his job, kind of. He's done his job, Southampton side. He's done his job. But will it be enough? We'll only tell at the end of the season. That's the thing. Uh, let's get some more of your comments in. James is saying, even if we do stay up, I'm not naive enough to think the current owners will spend what is required to keep us safe. Business comes first. Well, I mean, that was it for this season, wasn't it, James? They did not do anything this season apart from Firpo and Dan James, just and didn't sell anyone. They just think everything was a-okay. I've said it many times on here before. They got comfortable with the ninth place position. They got comfortable with the squad. They don't want to have uncomfortable conversations with the promoted team and get some of them out. And this is what it culminates to. It's as simple as that as well. It culminates to this. I said yesterday that Click had good moments in the game versus Man City. I thought he had good moments, but then I watched it back and he did have those good moments. But overall, he was poor. He's not a Premier League player. But that's what I'm working on. I spoke about Luke Ayling on Monday having a great game against Zaha. But overall, I wouldn't accept that from a real classy right back. What I'm saying when I'm saying that these players are playing good is that for their ability level at this level of the Premier League, that's as good as you're going to get from them. That's where I go with that. It's not that I'm saying that they're good and they deserve to stay or be starters next season. No chance. It's about their current level. It's just so low. So low. Carlos with a super chat. Thank you for the donation, man. All helps. Finally got to see you live for the first time, brother. Keep up the great content, pal. Most importantly, keep the faith. I believe we will stay up. Typical Leeds to put us through this. Yeah, it is, man. It's just so Leeds United, man. 34 games, and now we're starting to get to squeaky bum time. Unbelievable. But thank you for the super chat, man. Much appreciated. I'm glad you caught me live. Uh, Shabazz saying we need 40 points to stay up. Imagine that. After all these years where 40 points hasn't been important, All of a sudden, the year Leeds need it, it will be this one. Unreal. Unreal. Jacob, why didn't we do January signings is crazy to me. Well, listen, that's for the end of season chat, and we're going to get real deep into this. We're going to get real deep into that. Siren, I'm usually positive, but this feels like a Greek tragedy. Yeah, I'm just, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where I am right now, which is why I want all of you guys' opinions on this. And if you're watching live now, you're giving me your opinions in the chat. Um, but if you're watching the replay, please give me your opinions in the comments too. Please do that because I want to hear what every one of the subscribers are talking about and how you're feeling right now as of this weekend. That's what the temperature test is all about. Russell saying giving Forshaw a new contract and then nothing happening with Phillips or Raf says everything about this year. Yeah, I mean, I was on board early on with Forshaw getting a contract on the pure basis of somebody who's a senior head around the place, who's got much determination, and he does, but with the specific, caveat that he stays to the bench next season. Like it's not even close. He doesn't get into the starting lineup unless it's the Carabao Cup games or a Premier League game against lesser opposition. That's it for me. But he got one, and it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that he got one. Phillips and Rafinha, I think, is a bit more complicated, Russell, because I think they're both teetering on possibly leaving. So why would they sign a new contract if they're leaving? If they were going to stay, I think they would have signed a new contract by now. If we survive the Premier League, will Phillips sign? Possibly. Rafinha, though, no chance he's staying. No matter what happens, Rafinha's off, and good luck to him because he deserves better than this. No way should a player like Rafinha be on a 17th place team. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. So, but yeah, I mean, you talk about Forshaw. We'll be doing the same with Dallas. With all due respect to Dallas, he's like I say, his abilities have already declined already a bit this year. But we're going to wait for him to come back, and if we haven't got some players in front of Dallas by then, I mean, it doesn't even it's not worth thinking about. But we're going to be looking at Dallas again and waiting for him to have his heroic comeback from injury. That's what's happened with this club. We did it with Berardi too. Berardi wasn't really going to play Premier League football. He gets injured and we give him a contract. It's great gestures, but it's great gestures, but it's terrible business. If you're looking at it from a business point of view, it's terrible business. You don't give players that are not going to play or injured players new contracts. It's bad business because you're not replenishing the squad as you should. Matt Game saying, I feel we will draw one of the next two and have to win our last two games. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see it. I mean, if Chelsea turn up the way that they turned up against Everton today, there's even a chance if we line up correctly that we could win. And I do need to say that again as well. Yesterday, I thought the lineup before Cooper got injured was super in terms of playing a top team. I thought it was going to be great because you were going to have Firpo, Ayling as your fullbacks. Was it Clark, Cooper, and Stroud as your centre backs? That's good. Dallas and Phillips in the midfield with Rodrigo up front and Rafinha and Harrison as your wings. I think you can get something out of that. I do. I thought that would have been pretty good. I'm not saying we would have got anything against City, but I think if we set up like that against Chelsea, obviously without Dallas, we'll have to get a replacement for him there. I think we could get some joy with that, and it's good to see that Jesse did make that adjustment against Man City, or was planning on making that adjustment, I should say. Martin saying, if you had said last month it would have been 40 points, I'd have said you were crazy. Yeah, I'm with you. Because I honestly did think 35 points was going to do it this year. But the runs that the teams below us are doing, now above us in Burnley, unbelievable. Got to give them credit. I'll give them nothing but credit. Balls to blame, KG. No spending January, no about our long-term injuries and change the manager shambles. Yeah, Nigel, that's something to get into. We'll get into that at the end of the season. We'll definitely get into that. Darren saying he went to the under-23s against City and Arsenal, and Bate and McGurk were amazing. Why are they not? These two not playing ahead of Click? Questions I've had all season long, Darren. Sorry, Mateus Click hasn't been it all year long. He hasn't been it for more than a year, but yet he's been the one that couldn't be replaced. Couldn't be replaced, whether that's via the board or via Marcelo. They were both to to blame in keeping a player like Mateus Click as one of our starters this season. Not good enough. And when I say Bate, I'm not saying Bate would have been the answer, but I saw the glimpses of Bate's mobility, his passing range, that he would have possibly given us a little bit more in midfield than we've gotten from Click overall this season. But and you know what? Adding to that, we shouldn't have been relying on Bate. We should have had somebody else in there. We should have had a main midfielder in there, another one that's ready made. But again, these are all efforts that the board have made this year. Board and Bielsa, both of them. PBDS. Think we might just stay up the season. Funny how Cooper always picks up an injury just before playing a top 6 team. Listen, yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with his scan. PBD. We'll see what happens. Max KG's end of season is going to be tasty, ruthless aggression. Listen, even if we just survive, it's going to be the same because from what I expected and from what's happened, what's transpired over the season has been nothing but abysmal. And survival in the Premier League won't gloss that over for me. You know, all of a sudden I'm not going to go, oh, great job, guys. God, I hope you can do this all again next season. No, no chance. It's gonna be nothing but truthful. It's gonna be nothing that what I've seen. It's gonna be nothing that what's happened, what I've seen. I'm not gonna make anything up or try and spew a narrative either way. It's just gonna be what's happened over the season, and it's been brutal, Max. It's been brutal, so it's gonna be a brutal review. Kay is saying this could be something. I do think with the way that the squad is, being that family environment, that the injury to Dallas could rally them and give them even more of a cause to fight for. Could be, could be. I mean, they've all been doing their posts today on IG and Twitter, you know, wishing him the best and everything else, and I echo that completely. Speaking of IG, I'm KG Vision on Instagram too, if you want to follow me there. But I hope it does. You see, with other teams rally around them. Even when they score a goal, they'll then do that thing where they hold up a shirt of the player that's injured, like they've died or something, and show the crowd Dallas 15. Not saying that they should do that, but you see with other clubs where things like that, they galvanize the team and make them perform better just to do it for Stuart Dallas. That's what they'll be saying in the dressing room. We'll see. We'll see what they come up with versus Arsenal. Uh, the wonder stuff, Everton fan here. Obviously, I want us to survive 100%. But if I had to cherry pick who was to be relegated, it would be Burnley. You guys are a club are historically massive and would be missed because of that. Yeah, the history is doing us no favor now, wonder stuff. And shout out to you for tuning in. But yeah, and shout out to your win today. You grounded that result out. That's what you had to do. And the thing was as well. That's another thing as well. You routed Chelsea. You routed them. You were getting in their heads. King Kai, he was routed today. Rudiger, all of them, Aspilicueta, they were all routed. And instead of thinking, let's take it out on this team and make their lives miserable, they wilted. They absolutely wilted. It was unbelievable stuff from Chelsea, man. And wow. Robbie, and please keep getting your thoughts in. This is more to do with you than it is to do with me. I'm here to read your thoughts and feelings out. Robbie saying, KG, I can't offer detailed analysis, but it feels like we're going down after this weekend. I hope I'm wrong. I understand why people have got that sinking feeling. I do. But I'm just trying to look past the funk because I'm in a little bit of a funk with it too. I'm not going to lie. But I'm just thinking that it can't be all said and done with 4 games to go. I just refuse to believe that. I just refuse to believe that. Louis saying if they win against Arsenal, they'll hold Dallas's jersey at the end. Let them do it and everyone take the mick out of us. I don't care as long as we get the points. Um, Darren saying we have been the most poorly managed club for years. This myth of Bielsa being God is coming home to roost now. Oh, well, Darren, I would say that the first 3 years under Bielsa were amazing. Even when we didn't get promoted in the first year, the style of football we had seen from the very first game, the improvements we saw in a very, very mediocre squad was great to see. And even our first year in the Prem, yes, there was no fans. We had a great year last year, ninth place. But there's reasons why Bielsa doesn't stick with clubs very long. Maybe this is one of them. He gets too loyal to players. You only have to look at the letter he sent to Crespo 20 years later after the Argentina World Cup. Why does he feel bad about that? Just let it go. But we'll see. We'll see. Martin Peters, I'll make you all feel better. It would be a Leeds thing to go to Arsenal and win next week. Yeah, we'll have to run back that Kuhl and Viduka game. That's what we'll have to do. We'll try and muster him out of retirement somehow and get us that win. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting that. Shabazz is saying, let's not make too much important on losing one game in five. We need to be realistic. If we can beat West Ham, I think we can get something from Chelsea. We'll see. It's crazy how we're looking at that Chelsea game now and thinking that we're going to get something from it just from how they play. But then you have to put in that Leeds tax and think, can we do enough to beat them? That's the thing. Kevin is saying, KG, I'm drinking big cans of Supermalt in Star of Leeds position. Yeah, no Supermalt this weekend, people. We only drink Supermalts in celebration, man. Can't do it in sorrow. Can't do it. Shout out to you, though, Kev. M saying it wasn't Bielsa. Players generally have a shelf life of 3 years, not all, but most. We didn't invest, big mistake. Che Adams and O'Brien looking for bargains for the fee they wanted. Yeah, I mean, again, I was never on the O'Brien one, and I still respect them for not giving in to Huddersfield and just paying what Huddersfield wanted if they didn't feel he was worth it. And I kind of agree with him. I don't think he's worth anywhere near over £13 million. No chance. But yes, especially in a Bielsa system and even in a club system with a high press, lots of running, you have to regenerate the squad, and that's where he went wrong. Said it many times before. Bielsa could have stayed playing the way that he wanted to, but he just had to get better players in those positions, and he didn't do it. Whether it's him or the board, but it's just funny when he was here, everyone was saying that he wanted a small squad. He was happy with it, but when he gets sacked, all of a sudden now, did he want a small squad? People are questioning if that is it, and yeah, we'll never know, will we? We won't know. So, but yeah, I still think Bielsa could have done wonders with Leeds if he had just changed the playing staff. If he had done that with upgrades in the positions that we needed, who knows what we could have done. Gavin making a good point here. We pay 13 million for football. You're correct, but you know what? You're correct. I can't come back on that. That is true. We did. We paid 13 million for football. I think it may be even 15 or crawling up to 15. Who knows? Maybe we have to pay an extra 2 million if he finally gets like 12 yellow cards or something. So he's almost there. Russell asking if we had no problems with injuries, etc., where do you think we would have finished this year? Honestly, I think it would have been mid-table. I think it would have been slap bang in the mid-table area, maybe 12th, 13th. I think that was my prediction after we signed Dan James. I don't remember, but I just think if we had a real striker up front and even Bamford, as well as Calvin Phillips not out for so long, of course we would have picked up more points. Maybe those games against Brentford and teams like that where we slipped up, we would have got 3 points. Who knows? It's all ifs and buts now, isn't it? But yeah, of course. But that's it as well, though, Russell. There should have been players behind them to keep them sweating, but they didn't. We've let Bamford literally just be the main striker and say, hey, if we need the points, I'll come back. Calvin had no competition. And I'm not even saying getting someone as good as Calvin, but you get somebody who is adequate enough to make Calvin go, wow, he's played really well in my time off. I'm going to have to really work hard to get back in. He didn't have to work hard. He was just back in. That's been a problem. But again, we'll talk about that at the end of the season. Athena saying, "Wow, mid-table sounds absolutely glorious after this season." I agree. That's where I was hoping we'd be after last season, but alas, yeah, yeah, God. Uh, Dave saying the knockers and doom and gloomers are all breaking their necks to pour negativity over everything. Same like who was singing Beyonce then when we were promoted. It's annoying. Well, I mean, Dave, listen. After the weekend that we've had, I can see why people are a little bit down and maybe a bit negative. But that's where I've tried to come in today, Dave, and just say that it's not over. It's not over like everyone else is just saying like, oh yeah, we're just done now after 34 games. Come on now. I'm not saying that, Dave, but I can see why some people are down and maybe it just furthers some people's agendas. I don't know. But no, I'm looking just to say that Burnley haven't turned into Real Madrid overnight, and neither have Everton. So let's not worry too much. But it's just a bummer being where we are. That's the main negative thing about it, I think. Gavin's saying we've spent 55 million on Rodrigo and James. When is all going to carry the can? We'll see. I think there was a question earlier about does the board need replenishing? Do we need a new recruiter? It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. But what I would like though is a board that is more has got a bit more cojones about them in order to get players in. So no matter what, if the coach doesn't want them, they say no. Well, it's not up to you. You're the coach. Coach the players. Get the player in and make the coach work with them. And if the coach don't want to work with them, get them out. But you've got to look after the playing staff first, and that's not what has been done this year. So maybe Victor Walter's job should be on the line. Uh, let's have a look. Bomi. I think it's Bomi, isn't it? Gallagher, Gilmore, Cowell, and Broya would have saved you. Conor Gallagher would have been a good one, absolutely. Um, and I said that at the time. I said it would have been good for Mateus Glick to have somebody really pushing him and eventually supplanting him from the team, but didn't happen. He went to Crystal Palace, which was on the cards once Palace went in. Anyway, just saying. Gilmore, I'm not on Gilmore, Billy Gilmore hype. I don't think he's that good. I think he's got a lot of hype because he's a youngster in Chelsea's squad. I don't think he's that much of a difference maker. Broja would have been a nice addition. It would have been a good addition as a striker on loan. That would have been a good one. I know he's been quiet lately, but different setups. I think he would have done okay here. But hey, it's all ifs and buts, isn't it? It's all ifs and buts. Lewis saying need a board that is not afraid to get rid of players. Yeah, maybe that is something to consider. Maybe we need a board that isn't attached to any of these promoted players. Maybe that's what we need. So that may be a good shout, Lewis. Martin saying, did we only have championship players that had potential under Bielsa? How come we didn't buy other championship players and let him do his magic? Well, we don't know, Martin. That's the thing. We don't know anything in regards to recruitment. All I know is that at one point we were told, or it was whispered, that we had no money. And then Ronaldo signs for Man United, and all of a sudden he is 25 million, potentially 30 million to Man United for Dan James. So we don't know anything, and that's been a problem. Not saying that you need to know the transfer budget. You should never know that as a fan. But this season, the communication from the club hasn't been great. It just hasn't. It's been real poor in considerations to other years that we've been under Bielsa. In fact, it was much more open. This season has been very, very cloak and dagger, in my opinion. Um, so yeah. Bomi saying the goal difference is just the scary part. If not, I would have tipped Everton to get relegated. Yeah, it would be gutting to go down on goal difference, but again, got no one to blame but ourselves. You talk about a poor month. That February was a disgrace. It was a disgrace to the Premier League. Anybody else had that kind of month, conceding over 20 goals in the shortest month of the year, by the way. Boy, boy. Honestly, some things you just can't say, but it was unacceptable, and I'll just leave it there. The Wonder Stuff super chat. Thank you so much, man. As an Evertonian, I'm knitting a voodoo doll wearing a Burnley shirt made out of wool and full of holes. Yes, nice one. I hope that works. I really do. Paul Gray, 20 goals in 5 games in February shambles. It was absolutely dreadful. And that's what I'm saying. And that's why I came on here, because I was not feeling as low as after the Spurs game, but I'm just feeling like, God damn, what are we going to do next? That's the thing for me. Uh, John saying, can't believe how Burnley, Everton keep getting wins. Absolutely gutted for Leeds fans. Wait 16 years to get promotion. It's supposed to be a 5-year Europe plan. So why has management not sorted this mess? They wanted to get through with family and vibes, John. It's as simple as that. They thought that they could just keep this squad of players going, and it's just mismanagement, poor management. Scooby saying having one striker who's always had at least one dodgy knee was always going to be an accident waiting to happen. And yeah, it's right. The first year we had Bamford, when him and Roof were kind of rotating, they kind of had turns out of the team, didn't they? And that was because of the new regime under Bielsa, the new training. But you'd see them, they'd finish a game walking off the pitch looking fine. And then you'll get a note from Phil Hayes saying Bamford is out for 6 weeks with a something strain, or Roof has just scored a goal. We've won a game, and then Roof is out for 3 weeks with a calf problem. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, Bamford has been injury prone all his career. And that's what I mean. They made sure he's the main man, and he signed a new contract as well. Listen, other people, when they sign contracts and start performing, they get called a few things. There's been a few people that have called him out about it. I will say that I have seen it, so I'm not going to act like I haven't seen it. But yeah, he signed a new contract, and you see more about his shoe company than what he's doing on the pitch. It's all a bit mad, which is why I think Jesse, in part, is looking forward to new strikers come the summer. But what kind of caliber striker are we looking for? Is it going to be for the Prem or the Champ? Oh, oh boy. Gavin Parry, Rad's looking daft now with his top six and Forshaw tweet. Sometimes you just gotta not say anything. It was a bad move, and I know Forshaw came back and he did give us something midfield in the beginning. But listen, his quality is nah. He's not a Premier League player. Like I say, if he was to go to Bristol City next year, no one would argue. They'd say, "Oh, that's pretty good for Bristol City. They're going for promotion. Forshaw will give him experience." No one would bat an eyelid. I saw that, and that reminded me as well. I saw Jeff Hendrick on the bench for out of the playoffs QPR the other night against Sheffield United. Jeff Hendrick, who's I think he's on loan from Newcastle. That's what I'm talking about. We've got a midfielder like that realistically should be in the Championship, but he was starting games in the Prem just a couple of weeks ago. Problem, problem. Dave just coming back with I'm very worried, KG, and down as many of us are, but we have to try and stay positive. Who could have foreseen Everton and Burnley doing this well at this point? But can it and will it last? Exactly, Dave. That's the point I'm trying to make, Dave. In the people that are just saying that it's over. How comes all of a sudden now Burnley and Everton are guaranteed to win these certain games, but yet we're going to struggle against Brighton and Brentford? Like, what is telling you that we're all on the same on the same points, But obviously Everton with a couple less, but with a game in hand. I, we're a bad team, I get it, but so are they. If they were better than they are, they wouldn't be around where we are right now. So that's what I'm trying to get at in the main. But I just want to get people's where people are after the weekend we've had. And it's been a good show, people. It's been a good show. You guys are giving me a lot of feedback about how you're feeling. And it's just good to get the community's thoughts on where we are. Gavin saying Spartan KG. Well, thank you. It's all opinions, of course, all opinions. It's no one's right or wrong because we don't know what's going to happen in the games for us, for Burnley or Everton. No one knows. We can only predict. So anyone acting like they know exactly what's going to happen, that's a God complex. But we'll speak less about that. Bobby's saying Ailing is another one that isn't good enough at this level anymore for me. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Ailing's one that I would say keep on the bench. Absolutely keep him on the bench because I think he's still got a bit of juice to play games here and there. Not talking 20 games, not talking even 15. I'm talking about put him in the games that don't really matter when you want to rest your main right back and put him in the Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games, early FA Cup games because I want a cup run. But I think Ayling has got enough to do that for another year. But you need to get an actual right back in place. I got a name on the list here, and he's been linked with. I see now. I put his name in. He's been linked with Arsenal. So yeah, if we go to the Championship, he's definitely not going to come here. But there's always a chance you can get that player from the club they're at when you're in the Prem. You just have to be there first, give him the pitch, and say you are the main man, and just go with it. That's all you have to do. It's about how much ambition have you got as a club. That's it. Um, let's have a look. Trav saying, great chat as always, Cage. You got to keep believing. Yeah, that's what we got to do. Caspadinho, Jed Spence. Yeah, he's on the list. Caspadinho, he is. But there's another one that's on the list too. Who it may seem unrealistic, but it really isn't, given where his team is in the league he's in and what we could offer him in the Premier League. It's not unrealistic. SJ, KG, realistically, in your honest opinion, how many of our starting 11 are Prem players? Weekly Prem players? You mean out and out that you would trust? Meslier, I still believe in Meslier, but like I say, just get him an experienced backup just to give him some help, give him some pointers, give him some advice, and some experience that he's just not getting this year. Another mess up this season, by the way. No experienced backup goalkeeper for Meslier. There's just so many things. It's just that's what I mean. That's where I'm at the point with annoyance. But yes, sorry, back to your question. Meslier, Rafinha, Calvin Phillips, and possibly if you transfer him into a left wing back, Jack Harrison. I would prefer to see Jack at that bit of the pitch rather than up where he's expected to provide goals and assists because it's not consistent enough over the season. But out and out, just out and out, Meslier, Phillips, and Rafinha. Pascal Struijk as well. He's going to keep on getting better. But if you're talking ready-made, I would say those three. Give me. You know what? That's a really good question. How many do you guys think who are in the chat right now are out and out Premier League players? And I don't mean ones with potential, like I just mentioned with Stroud. I mean ones what you would bank on to start every week with no questions asked. Like for me, Calvin, Rafinha, and Meslier at this point. Jason saying, "Hey, KG, watch recap. Nice one, Jason. Thank you for that." Ali saying Koch as well. He's a German international. Yeah, if we give him a chance at centre back on a consistent basis, I would agree. For Beefy saying four, Caspadinho saying Bamford surely. The reason why I'm not saying Bamford, Caspadinho, and a few others that saying Bamford is for me he's not available enough, and for me that means I don't trust you. If I can't trust you to be fit for a majority of the time, you're not going to make my squad anyway. So that's why I wouldn't say Bamford, but I do understand why you put in Bamford in there. I mean, look, the numbers basically, I'm just going down. People are saying 4 and 5, and therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. Bob's, honestly, that is me. That is me all over. Best availability. Best ability is availability. There is only a couple of instances where you can make that work for you, and that is when you're a tippy top world class player. Two examples straight off the top of my head. Sergio Aguero for Man City. Yes, he got injured many times, but you know what? He's leaving you throughout the season. 20 plus goals, almost 30. He's giving you the work while he's fit. Harry Kane, another. He's done well this season. He stayed fit, but usually he goes out for a few months with his ankle injuries. But you know what Kane's giving you? 20 plus, 30 goals a season. That's when you can say, you know what, it's worth taking the hit with those kind of players. But for regular players that don't have that, if they ain't got that kind of juice, nah, you've got to be available for me. Um, oh God, John Knox. I can't put that up. That's slanderous. But that's funny though. I'll give you that. That's pretty funny. Jody had a thought and he said, "You're right. It's them three." Yeah, exactly. Maybe there is a couple more, but I'm talking out and out Premier League quality that we've got in the team that I think would thrive next to other quality players and not just what we've got right now. And I think they would. I think they would shine. Phillips, Rafinha, Melia. I do. And it's quite pathetic when you think of it that way. We've got other competent players, of course, but to just have 3 stars in the Prem, 3 out and out stars, is atrocious, man. And again, yeah, Jack Hardy, Rodrigo on his day, but how often is his day? I gave him a whole video saying that I thought he was going to do a remontada and just come back, and he's gone back to regular Rodrigo again. That's what I'm talking about. It's just too inconsistent from a lot of these guys. We've got too many of them, way too many of them. But right, I mean, listen, oh man, we've gone for an hour. This has been a really really good session. I think this has been a really good session. You know what, Martin? Martin says we forgot about Roberts. People, what do you want to do with Roberts? It's up to you. It's up to you. Because you know what the funny thing is with Roberts as well, and I'm not even being horrible. I'm really not. But even when in the championship, he didn't even score goals then. So even if we were to go down, which I'm not saying we are, can we rely on Tyler Roberts in the champ? It's crazy. Like he realistically should be sold in the summer again. But once again, he's had a long term injury. Are we going to be heroing him back? Oh, nice to see you back, Tyler. For me now, you get him fit, get him sold. Jack. That's a. I just want to get your one on Rodrigo there. His only recent bad performance was against City, which is always a big ask. It was a bad performance against City, Jack, but he also was very, very ordinary against Palace too. Let's not forget that. That's 2 games in a row as well, by the way. He wasn't good against Palace at all. And then when you think about that against City, that opening moment where all he has to do is just square it across to Raf. That's all he has to do. Look up, think, put it across to Rafinha, and who knows what would happen. I'm not saying Rafinha would have scored because obviously he's against Edison, who's one of the best goalkeepers in the world quite easily. But that's what we're talking about, Jack. It's just not consistent enough. Ged saying Robertson Costa buy one get one free. You guys, man, brutal, brutal. Max H, who's ready for Arsenal? Let's do this. Yeah, I think I'll be ready when the week comes. Like I said, there's going to be a preview on here, so I hope you all can join me for that. I think it's going to probably be around Thursday or Friday. We're going to finalize the date after the bank holiday. But yeah, smash the notification bell so you know whenever I'm going live. So just click the bell next to the subscribe button, and you'll know where I'm going live. Dave N, never fear, Furpo's here. Right, Trav saying KG sounds like James too in terms of Rodrigo. Head up and think. Yeah, just the intelligence is. It's a very, very ordinary squad, and I hate repeating myself, but I said once the running stats go, once the one-touch football and the energy goes, the squad would be asking a lot of them, and the proof has been in the pudding, I'm afraid. Tom saying James at natural position. Well, listen, that's another thing this season, isn't it? And it's not even like it's for one or two. We're talking through 2 coaches. We're talking for 2 coaches that keep on playing this guy up front. And it makes 0 sense. I'm sorry. I know he presses from the front, but then when finally the ball goes through and you're looking for that striker movement, that striker run, that clinical edge, that composure, he doesn't have any of that. He does all his best work from the wing. That's where he presses like a madman. That's where he can do most of his work. But He hasn't been playing there most of the year. It's another insane decision for the year, but I'm sure we'll talk about that at the end of the season. Um, Chronicle saying we might be relying on a favor from Thomas Frank. Oh, Thomas Frank in the final game, which is great, equals great. Yeah, no, that's what I mean as well. We don't have any friends. Brentford are certainly not our friends. I think they would revel in Leeds going down after the promotion year and everything else like that. We don't have no friends, so we can only rely on ourselves, and that is kind of scary. That is kind of scary. Um, Matthew saying I can see us bringing Bamford back early and breaking him down in the first minute, knowing our luck. We'll see. We'll see. Jeff, even Pablo would have done a job for us this season. Jeff, he wouldn't have. Pablo is finished, man. Oh, he's finished. But you see, Jeff, and this isn't against you, it really isn't. But that's been the problem. Like that's been the board. That's been the board. They've been hanging on to these players and thinking that they could still see us through in 2022. Pablo was never going to do anything for us, which is why he is now. But I hear what you're saying. But we should have moved on from him. And again, I don't think he was adequately replaced either. Flattado saying big punters to score our own goal to keep us up. Yeah, and I think I said this on another channel. I don't remember where I said this. I may have not said it on here, but you think about Pontus Jansson. He can come back to Ellen Road and still find a lot of his friends from when he was here. That should tell you something because he left the club 3 years ago, or something like that. He left us 3 years ago, didn't he? That tells you something. Like Pontus Jansson shouldn't be coming back here 3 years later saying, hey Liam, hey Stuart, hey Luke, hey everybody. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. That's the reality. We didn't move on. But yeah. Guys, this has been a good therapy session. I hope some of you are feeling a little better, a little more optimistic. I know that we've had to talk about the reality of our team, and it isn't good. But we also, peaked in on a couple of our rivals there in Burnley and Everton, and just saying that they're not invincible. See where we go. See where we go. Scooby with a point. Actually, yeah, that's a decent point. Rodrigo was supposed to be a Pablo replacement, I feel. I mean, he's clearly not a number 9. But the thing is, Scooby, I think he was sold to us as a striker. I do, but he's not a striker. And I don't even... When I saw him for Valencia, when I saw him play for Valencia, he played off the left. That was it for me. He played off the left. He's never been a consistent goal scorer. So I don't know where that number 9 striker thing came from, but it wasn't from the games I saw him play for Valencia anyway, and I saw him a few times. So, yeah. Maybe he... Oh, man, that's a blast from the past. Martin saying Eric Bakker going to come on and save us, man. Listen, Eric Bakker couldn't even play for us in his final few games for Leeds. I think if he had played, that we've had to pay him a certain amount of money when we was in the champ. That's why he moved to Villa on loan, wasn't it? Oh day. Dark days. Scooby, I'm going to go throw some paper. I appreciate the humor. Yeah. But yeah, listen, people, any other comments you want to get in, please get them in the comments after the video is done. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Like I say, membership is on the channel now for you to help and support the channel and myself. So if you're interested in doing that, click the link in the description or on the main page. But yeah, I will see you at some point in the week for a Arsenal preview, and we'll see how we can get into Arsenal from there. So until the next time, people, peace out.